Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk. What's up? Big Herc 916, and getting down with fresh out Prison Talk. And I just want to share with you guys about public perception and how people can be convicted before they're even in a court of law. Now, I'm not trying to speak on whether anyone in particular is guilty or innocent. I'm just saying, with control of the media, you can pretty much manipulate or control public's opinion. And that has a lot of power, because a lot of times people, if you have to go to trial, are basing their judgment on a person's character. And if a person's character is destroyed before they get into the courtroom, they have little chance, even if they're innocent, of getting a fair trial. Now, whenever you have allegations against you, your recourse is to put out a statement, lawyer up, and try to figure out a way on how to defend yourself against those charges. And we've seen how, in many cases, the public opinion can convict a person. We've seen it in Bill Cosby. We've seen it in R. Kelly. We've seen it in multiple rappers' cases. Young Thug was able to, beat his case because of all the, stuff going on in Atlanta with the courts and stuff, all the mishaps. But we see like Little Durk now, getting caught up, and the media is, constantly posting stuff about, what he allegedly said, so it makes him look like he's guilty. We see all the different, accusations against Puffy, and I'm not saying he's innocent or guilty. I'm just saying public opinion pretty much has convicted him, and we've seen what it did for R. Kelly, and we're seeing it now with Jay-Z. And when you're even with Donald Trump, you've seen it with Donald Trump, man. So it's not just based on hip hop. It's based on people who are in the public eye. And one of the things is, when you're fighting a case, your character comes into play regardless. I mean, when I went to court, they brought up all the stuff you did as a juvenile, anything you said, stuff that is public. So for, the guys in the music industry, lyrics that were used in rap songs, interviews, all this stuff, they pull up all the social media stuff. So when you're out there and you're talking about certain things, you're putting business out there, on various platforms, X, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, just know that if you ever get caught up, they're going to bring up all this stuff, and it doesn't even have to be true as far as what you said. You could have been saying it just to boost your socials, but it can and most likely be used against you. Another thing is, whenever you have co-defendants and the two of you are accused of similar acts, the first thing they're going to do is ask for a separation. As far as attorneys, they're not going to want to go to court together. They're not going to want to have, any type of connection, because they don't want the influence of one defendant to spill over and influence the opinion of another defendant. And that's just how the law works, and that's how these lawyers work. So, one of the first things a lot of guys say was, man, my attorney said I shouldn't talk to you. But then when that person get caught up, they're, looking most likely to try to cut a deal to maybe flip on the other defendant. And that's how they get these guys, man. That's the game. No matter how tight the homie is and this and that, it's always trying to pull one of the individuals to the side to get them to tell on the other one. And that's how they get a lot of these convictions, man. But just like when they have these civil actions and they can get multiple individuals to align with the same similar accusations or statements, it really impacts the ability to get a judgment. And you just got to know, man, that we're in a day and age of social media. So what the public thinks about you has a very big impact on how you will be able to maneuver in court, as far as if you go to jury trial. I mean, Conor McGregor, just got civilly convicted of, SA, and, lost some endorsement deals, lost some brand deals. Vince McMahon, he got caught up in some allegations. And so when people hear about stuff like that, it definitely impacts how others perceive you. And if you're not ahead of it with some type of PR campaign, then it can definitely damage your image and affect your ability to do future deals and just save your character. Damage is already done once the word is out there. I mean, even in somebody who doesn't have a public case, they ask you to ask friends to write letters for you, character letters and stuff like that. So that's why, when I did a video a while back and I said, hey, where's Puffy's homies at? I did one, where's Jay-Z's homies at? People speaking out for you kind of, supports the person who you are. But when people don't say anything, and a lot of times some people don't want to say anything because they don't want to get dragged into it. So they're like, hey, man, I'm just going to support in the background, but I can't publicly defend you because I don't want to get called up on anything because maybe there's something in the dark about me. And so that's how a lot of people, that's why they're like laying in the cuts, not really saying too much. But you definitely got to watch your socials and the way things are now with just stuff being put out there. I mean, look at the picture for the Dodgers who got caught up with the female. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but Cy Young Award winner was about to sign $100 million contract, and sexual allegations destroyed his career in, MLB. I think he's playing in Japan now, but, luckily he was able to get access to some text saying she was going to get that bag. And nothing happened to her. He lost a bunch of endorsement deals and, money opportunities, but she's still out there doing her thing. So he was basically destroyed in the public's eyes, even though he was innocent. But that's how quick you can go from being somebody who's respected to being somebody who's a scumbag by, what the media puts out there. And once the media puts it out there, the damage is done. Jay-Z, he's getting ahead of it by, trying to put a media, PR team to kind of address some of these things. But when you have, these things out there and then other platforms are feeding into it. And like I said, I'm not here to defend or convict anybody. I know how it is because I've been in the system, and, nothing at the level of these guys, what they're dealing with, but just what they're able to pull up on you and say in court, can make you look like somebody who's just the lowest of the low. Oh, this guy, when he was young, he has this. I mean, they go through your criminal record and all that stuff is used in court unless you have your record expunged and they can't go back. But they try to use anything they can to make you look like you're somebody who should be convicted. So just watch yourself out there, and just know that when you're dealing with especially a lot of celebrities, people are making they're making their careers off these people. So this is really putting a lot of these people in the limelight, and they're going to probably write books, have movie deals. Who knows what happens from this? And like I said, I'm not here to say any of the alleged victims aren't actual victims. I'm just saying that in today's day and age, you will be convicted in the eyes of the media before you step foot in the court, because that's how the game works. And people who feel like you've been at the top or you've been winning and they're pretty much mad at life, they're gonna have it out for you. So just be on your toes, man. Even if you're a little guy and you're out there and you're shining on your social media, you got stuff, man, people will come after you, man. They're gonna start saying stuff. They're gonna try to knock you down. People that are frustrated with their own life, to see somebody else fall kind of makes them in some cruel sense feel better about themselves. But that's just the human nature of people, man. People used to hate on Kobe. People hated on Jordan. People hate on individuals who they feel are winning, even though they have no reason to, because maybe this person put in the work, and they had to put in the work to be where they're at. But that's just the nature of people. So watch yourself out there. What you share with people. When you start thinking about your past, things you've done, just know that all that stuff can come to light whenever you're dealing with a civil or criminal situation. And people, they get off on trying to break your character down to make you more susceptible to the conscience of whoever it is that's going to be possibly sitting in on your case. I mean, a lot of times they try to get, people who aren't familiar so that it's a non-biased jury. But when you're dealing with big celebrities or athletes or people who are in the limelight, entertainers, a lot of people who everybody watches TV or has their phone, so they got an opinion. And a lot of times it's not a good opinion, because the good opinions aren't getting out there as much as the negative opinions, because the negative is more tied into the algorithm, and that's what people want to feed off of, is the negative rather than the positive. So Big Herc 916, leave a comment, subscribe to Fresh Out, let me know what you guys think, and
Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in.
before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring but your funky ass. Go to BigHerc916.com and pick you up a bundle of soap and wash that funky ass for the holidays.